Hi everyone, welcome to all the new subscribers. Headed up into the WoodHole, upper WoodHole. Got no chainsaw today. It's pretty dry out. So this video, just to let you know, this video is I'm just walking around the WoodHole, looking at trees, looking at a couple different scenarios, a couple different precautions that I take before I even start a chainsaw when I'm gonna fall a firewood tree. So just so you know, there's no sawing, there's no cutting. It's just me yapping, talking, rambling about different, like I said, a couple different scenarios. So I hope you enjoy the show. This video, like I said, it's not action packed, it's not whatever, but it's something that I believe is overlooked, and that is in the aspect of things, that how important it is to look at things before you even start a saw, before you even get the saw out of the pickup. To me, it's what I do in my preparation to make sure that I'm as safe as, I guess I'm as safe as I know how to be. It's not safety wise, it's just some things that I look for, and try things that I try to avoid from ending up with a tree on my head or on my shoulder, or things like that. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy the show. Hope everybody's having a great day. Roll on. Elk tracks and deer tracks. This is this little spot right here is the area that was super wet. It's still pretty moist in here. It's not real it's not running water right here anymore. And this is what I waited for, or what I would have waited for to fall that tree, was for it to dry up, so it wasn't making ruts and ditches and stuff that doesn't need to be, that's not necessary. This is just another small thing that I look at when looking at firewood. There's no, I'm in the WoodHole today with no chainsaw, for a reason, because it's dry. It's real dry and crunchy. Listen, hear how crispy that is? Yeah, I don't need to be in here with a chainsaw and run the risk of starting a fire. You can hear how crunchy it is. Dry, crisp, just crispy. So I'm taking today in the WoodHole to talk about some things that might get covered, and this is one of those things that not a lot of people want to sit through and watch and listen, of just things out in the woods. Looks like we have a natural salt lick right here. Something's digging at the ground, or somebody in the past has put a salt lick in here. So yeah, I just want to cover some things. I know I'm just kind of rambling right now and wandering around, but that's kind of why I'm here, to talk about things that could be things that I look at before I fall a tree, before the saw even starts, before really the saw is even out of the back of the pickup. I like to, you know, get a visual on it and really look over things about the tree, about the surroundings, because there's so much that I look at before, like I said, I even start a saw. So you saw how far up we walked before we found water. This is a neat little spring that runs down through the wood hole. And then it pretty much goes in the ground right here. This is the end of any kind of trickling water. As you can see further down. Let's zoom out a little bit. This is the path that goes back down to where, back down into the heart of the wood hole. But you know, there are just so many things to look at. Like if you're falling a tree and it's gonna hit stuff like this Rocky Mountain maple, vine maple, whatever you want to call it. If it's gonna get into stuff like that, that stuff is real springy. As you can see how it lays over. There's another one right down here. I'll zoom in on it. See how it lays over like that? It's real bendy. And it'll bend, and it'll break, and it'll come back. And it'll act like a spring. And it can be like spring loaded. So if it hits, you know, if your tree hits it and it gets hung up in it, be careful when you cut that kind of stuff out of the way. That, and I'm doing a little bit of scouting here to see if there's more elk sign in here. It's a beautiful spot. Really beautiful spot. Some shade in here, not a lot of underbrush. Oh, look. Can you see that? I don't know what the real term for that is, but we call it here Indian paintbrush. That's pretty neat to see that. There's a nice trail right here. I know this is just all over the place, but somebody will enjoy it, that's for sure. Just to walk through the wood hole, some down trees. Those are other things to look at, look for. When you're following a tree, your surroundings are super important. Is there wind? There's a lot of down stuff in here. Somebody's makeshift ground blind. That's pretty cool. Let's check that out. That's pretty cool. You get in and out of the rain there. Let's look at this tree right here. This one right here. This one here. It's a grand fir, white fir, balsam, whatever you want to call it. It's this one here. You go up and look at that, and it's still got a few red needles on it. So for me, that indicator is that the tree is, I would consider this tree fairly solid still, because it still has some needles on it. So it hasn't been dead a whole long time. It's got conch on it. I look at that. those little puffball deals right there, just like that thing right there, that's a sign of root rot. So rot means what? And if it's in the roots are weak. So if I was following this tree, I would want to be careful about that, because I don't know how rotten the root ball is, correct? As we go around, there's a little bit of dust. Not a whole lot on this one. There's a little bit more there, right here, from the fur beetle. And this one, these are dead also. They've got conch on them as well. This one is dead, and it's got conch on it. And it doesn't have any red needles left. And then look at what's at the base of it. Not a lot of fur beetle sign. Things to look for of what your tree, if we were following this tree right here, and we were going to put it right down through there. Let's go up from there. What would we hit? We might hit one of those. We'd hit that balsam over here, this one here. We'd tickle that one. But what are we going to hit right here? See these, all these in a line? There's 1, 2, 3 that it would probably brush up against. So as you're leaving, this is what you would see. You would see the tree go through there and go through this part of the crown right here. So if it tickles all of that, you have to be aware. I would be aware and way away from it, and keep your eye up there, because if it hits that, it could either break the top out of the tree that you're falling, or it could break the top out of, and limbs out of these crowns, and kick them back this way towards you, towards where you will be, where I would be getting away. This is what I would look at, and in hopes of that it will help someone else, you know, have an idea of what to watch for and things to be reminded of that can come back and get you. And then you want to look at the ground. I would look at the ground. What's it going to hit here? It has a chance to hit this stub right here and kick it up. It has a chance to hit this and kick it up. And as you can see, this one is off the ground. So if it hit right there and catapulted that, then this end, whatever is covering this end, is going to get flipped up and be out in the danger zone. Things will fling different directions and different distances on every tree. Every tree, you know, every tree is different. Every tree is different, whether it's size, whether it's species and size, whether it's weak tops, strong top, weak top. So many variables that you don't know about it, especially dead trees. You know that it's dead, and that right there is about all you know for sure, is that it is dead. Another thing I like to do is look at it from where I'm going to fall it. Not only from the stump, from where I'm going to fall it from, but let's look at it. Now I'm down where the tree, if I were to fall that tree, and where I would put it, I'm standing where it would be going. So here's the tree right here. This is the tree right here. And it goes up. Sorry if I get the sun in there. It's kind of bright. But see how it sweeps over and then it goes up? And then where are we at? This is the crown of those other trees that it will be going through to get to where I'm standing. So I like to look at it from both ends, from the stump perspective and from where it's going to go. Is there anything, did I miss anything looking from the stump? So if it brushes off of this one, now this is just my opinion, if it brushes off of this tree here, further down the line, after it comes through that crown, if this crown pushes it this way, it can also get into this one. So that would depend on how fast I cut it off. Once it gets going, how fast I cut it off and how much holding would I leave. Do I want it to go fast through there? I would say yes, so it doesn't end up on the other side of this one. Right? Because then I'm down, then I'm over in all this business. I hope this is making sense. Just things that I do. Okay. I just want to show you the lean on this tree. I'm practicing showing lean. This one leans pretty good. Let's see if we can show it. See how straight up this one is pretty much, and then this one leans, and then this one here being close as it is, looks not bad, right? Okay, let's go straight. Let's keep this tree straight in perspective. See that? See? And then it kind of straightens up as it gets closer up into the crowns of the other trees. So that tree could either go with its lean, which is that direction, or it could go that direction, or how about there? This is just a broken off stub. You can see the top of it right here. So I would cut that. I would cut this out of the way, and I would aim for that stump right there. Let's do that one more time. See that heavy lean? But then it kind of, it's not perfectly straight. It's still got lean that direction, but and there's still, to me, this fall will be the time to put this one down because of that lean. And one of the last ones that you saw me fall was antfield. This one could be antfield as well, because it does have root rot. You can see the conch on it. And it could be hollow in the center. But with the red needles on it, tells me it hasn't been dead a whole long time. So this fall will be the time for this tree to come down and go down there, because it right now it's gonna have the most holding wood. If I wait till next year and the ants are in it, it's going to have less holding wood. And that'll be another one of those that's going to be determined on the first cut, on the face cut, of how rotten it is and what we can do with it. If we're just going to have to sacrifice, and if we have to put it down in here, that's fine, because that's down in that wet zone, and the wet zone is dry, like we showed earlier in the video. So you could get a vehicle in there, and you could just let gravity do it and roll them right down the hill, which is what I like to do. Just something else to look at. And then where would it go? If it went down to that stump, it's going to get into the crowns of these trees here. So when you go down in there, when I go down in there to cut it up, I got to be heads up and make sure that there's nothing left up in those trees that could fall out, that came off of the original tree that went through it, or got broken off of the green stem, because that one will probably hit some things. It could be put through there to where it just brushed stuff right through here. Right through here, then it's just gonna tickle that far tree. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope it wasn't too boring. I know it wasn't for me. It's always good to get out and just kind of walk around. And those trees that I showed you are going to be some trees that will be cut down on the channel if they're still standing, if somebody else doesn't come up and cut them. One of them's quite a ways up the hill. There's so much balsam up there, it's unbelievable. And that big crooked Doug fir, I'm hoping that one survives till, you know, makes it till the fall, till we start getting some rain. I don't want to cut in there until we get some rain. So the trees are there, and hopefully they're still there. After we get a couple rains, we'll come back up in the fall and get that big Doug fir out of there. That'll be fun. But thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody for your support on the channel and all around the community. Get outside, get some physical work in, do something. Watch squirrels run around in the trees, or go listen to the creek run. And the beauty of silence is amazing. It is amazing. All right, everybody. Thanks a bunch. Take care. Love y'all. Be safe. TazMan is rolling.